From folklore and fairies
to monsters and mysteries, it came from the Maritimes. You have nothing to lose but your mind. My co-host, Chelsea.
There is more on heaven and earth, Horatio, than is dreamt of in his philosophies. My co-host, Evan.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to It Came From The Maritimes. Today's topic is the academic apparitions known as the Maritime University Ghosts, Part 3.
Woo! The people want it.
I mean, I don't know if the people want it, but I like it. I think they're neat, and there's apparently a lot of them.
At least one person has reached out to us saying they love it, so that's all I need.
I'm glad. I think the reality is they're just some of the oldest buildings around, and we'll be talking about that a little bit in this episode.
Exciting.
Yeah, but as a warning, this episode discusses death, including that of a pregnant woman and of a child. Are you ready?
Oh, I've been waiting for this since episode 5.
I'm glad, because we're actually starting off with a little go back to episode 5, talking about Penelope from Shirreff Hall at Dalhousie University. So that was our first Maritime University Ghosts episode. So I found an extra story that it was in Vernon Oickle's book, Ghosts of the Maritimes, Volume 2, and I didn't include it in the first go-around because I was uncertain about some of the details. It mentions a ghost that is in a woman's residence, which Shirreff Hall was the last remaining woman's residence before it went co-ed. And it didn't mention too many details about Penelope herself, but it does seem to be related. So with this, for those who forget, Penelope was a student or a worker who became pregnant and after being abandoned by her partner, took her own life. In this story that I heard about the haunting in presumably Shirreff Hall, a first-year student had moved into the residence and was very nervous, so she brought reminders of her home with her. One of the things she brought was a set of Russian stacking dolls, which she had carefully set up on her shelf. In the first couple of weeks after moving, she started to notice them being turned to face the opposite direction at night, and then every morning she would turn them back. This happened over and over again, and she knew no one had a key and that she was the only person in the room, and then she even checked the doors and windows to make sure that they were secure. This was something that was an inconvenience, but she kind of accepted to a degree. But then there was another occurrence that happened when she was using her hairdryer. She turned it off, but would keep on turning back on. At first she saw it was an electrical issue with the device, but then she unplugged it from the wall, and the hairdryer continued to work. And that was the last straw, and she moved out of the residence right after that.
1, that's why I don't mess around with dolls. And 2, it sounds like Penelope was being a bit of an imp.
I know. In the other stories, it seems like Penelope was a little more chill. Like at worst, I think she was reorganizing someone's filing cabinet.
I love that. That would be me as a ghost. I love organizing.
Like it seemed like the student had like a set system, and then Penelope was like, we're actually going to go in a different way.
We could do better.
But this one just seems like it's like, especially the hairdryer, is like, that's dangerous. And then there was another story that I found that was directly attributed to Penelope from Dal News. And this included students waking up at night and finding it strangely warm, even with the heat off and the windows open in the fall, which I found interesting just because usually ghosts make it cold, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, Penelope's just cranking the heat there.
No concern for the cost of power these days.
Exactly. She's just windows open. She's cranking the heat. She's heating the outdoors. Other occurrences include hearing a voice say hello in an empty building by one of the maintenance workers, phone chargers falling out of wall sockets, which to me, I think that's something that sometimes can just happen depending on how the weight is.
Maybe, but she does seem to love tinkering with the electronics.
She does. A window falling out of the frame onto a student's desk. Now that one I couldn't get like the full details, but I think it might have been like, windows you can technically like have it kind of come in.
Yes.
I think that. So that. But then the one that I found maybe the most concerning was a student who said that she would shut down her laptop and close it for the night, and then finding it open and on different internet pages. And that was spooky to me.
See, yeah.
She's doing research.
And that's one of those situations that even if it's not a ghost, there's something not great going on.
Exactly. It's got like, and it didn't say what pages it was open to, so I'm very curious what Penelope was looking into.
Yeah, I would love some details. If anyone knows, you send them our way.
Yeah. One other thing that I found was that many students believe that seeing Penelope was a sign that your heart was about to be broken.
Oh, kind of like a forerunner.
Exactly. So last time I talked about her, it seemed that her occurrences seemed to mostly stop after the backup generator was put in. But in this story, they actually attributed the decrease in Penelope's appearances to the building going co-ed.
Interesting.
So maybe she was just kind of there, like she didn't want the co-ed lifestyle there with the residents.
Nope, she was over it.
Exactly. Good to check back in with Penelope. It's one of those things where I find some of these stories, I'm like, oh, I already did the episode, but I do want to just like bring it up sometime because, and these Maritime University ghosts, I mean, I'm going to keep on doing them until I don't find any more stories. So hopefully you guys do like them.
I'm thrilled to revisit this topic, so anytime.
Good. So next I'm going to be talking about ghost stories that I've heard from St. Mary's University in Halifax. These are mostly kind of smaller snippets. They're a little harder to verify too because a lot of them are shared on Facebook or Reddit. Some of the things have also been included in like haunted house events, so I'm not sure if it's something that was made up for the haunted house event as much as folklore that they're bringing back in. I'd also like to mention that in October of 2025, apparently SMU hosted an event called Monster Fest, which they described as a 4-day exploration of cultural, historical, and political significance of monstrosity. And I'm really surprised this wasn't on our radar.
I know.
Like, it was right before Halloween, so honestly, you were probably busy prepping for Halloween, and I was busy eating candy. So, you know.
True.
If they do it again next year, we might need to check it out.
Oh, I would love to.
Now, like a lot of the older universities in the Maritimes, SMU started with religious ties, in case you couldn't guess from the name St. Mary's.
What?
Some of the ghosts associated with campus come from that. And there used to be a building there that worked as a care house for those who were unwell or could not afford a place to live, and they were cared for by the nuns. Beside that was the historic carriage house on the property, which was said to be one of the places where they would hold bodies during the winter until it was warm enough for them to bury them in spring, so similar to the Charnel houses that we talked about. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that correctly, right? Charnel?
As far as I'm concerned, yes, that's how I said it.
Okay, good. There was also talk of the TESL building that was haunted by the ghosts of a woman and her baby who had passed away during childbirth. The next one, less of a bummer here, is that there's a cairn near the campus that is said to have been dedicated by the actor Bing Crosby. But at the time, he was drunk and had to be dragged off the golf course to come and dedicate it. And some say that he offended the nuns, and now his ghost comes back to apologize for that event.
Well, yeah, you should never offend the nuns.
Exactly. I mean, even if you're a big name like you're Bing Crosby. And then there's another story that says that in the McNally building, when it was built, there were some stones used that were once used in the construction of a prison, and now they make up the foundations, and that a ghost pirate has followed those stones to its new afterlife prison. I cannot find any information about who this pirate is or where the prison originally was, so this is what I was talking about at the beginning. They don't really give you much detail in any of these.
No, they don't want too many folks flocking to the spot.
Well, I mean, and that might be it. They're just trying to keep us away. They're like, we don't need these ghost hunters coming to our campus. We need an education here. Now, a little bonus ghost story from the nearby grammar school, which isn't a university, I know.
But my alma mater.
Exactly. So there's one of the buildings that was once Tower Road Elementary, and it was said that in the top window you could see the image of a ghostly boy imprinted on the glass. The story goes that after the Halifax explosion, that they brought bodies up there, but unfortunately, when the boy was brought there, he wasn't dead. He awoke surrounded by the corpses and started banging on the window.
As you would, that's terrifying.
Exactly, and it's said that he eventually died of fright, but some say that his soul was still there in the window trying to escape.
Oh, that poor little fella.
I know. I've also heard a variation that it was actually just one of the janitors of the elementary school painted some faces of children up there just to be like a fun decoration, and over time, everything kind of started to fade away with the sun and get discolored and weird. Either way, from my understanding, when Halifax Grammar took over, they washed the windows, and that was the last time the ghost was seen, so that might say something about that story.
As much as the spirit story is a sad one, it is a goodie.
I know, I mean, it's kind of like if I was that kid, I'd probably be mad too. I wouldn't be lying peacefully. I'm going to end with some stories about the University of New Brunswick, which is the oldest English-speaking university in Canada, so surely they've got to have some ghosts.
Of course.
I will say that I've seen some other bits and pieces of other stories around UNB, so I might come back to there in a future episode. So my first story takes place on the UNB St. John campus. It's from a female student who was in the Ward Chipman Library in 2008, and at the time of retelling, she has since graduated and now works in the marketing department at the school, so we gotta take this with a grain of salt. She might just be trying to get people in there to see the ghosts.
Very true. That's one recruitment technique.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many people would work on, but it probably would have worked on at least you.
At least me. Oh, 100%.
She said that she was studying in the library and watching the sun go down over the river, and she decided to take out her phone to take a picture. Now, from my understanding, it was one of the old-style flip phones, so probably not the best quality picture.
Oh man, those bring me back.
Oh yeah. And then when she went back to look at the picture, she saw that what looked like a man behind her wearing a dark coat, a bald head, visible ears, but a blank face, which, based on the description, I believe to think just no features on the face, no mouth, no nose, no eyes.
That is horrifying.
When she turned around, the room was empty, and she quickly looked through the stacks but found them empty as well. She later showed the picture to her friends, and they all agreed that it was a man behind her. She put it behind her and didn't really think about him until recent years, when she searched for more answers. One longtime UNB security guard said that he often had a sense of dread patrolling the library at night. There was one retired officer who seemed to see him frequently, but was usually from the outside of the building looking in, and if he entered the library, no one would be around.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. This woman also asked her father, who graduated in the early 80s. He reported that once he was told the library was closing and left the building, only to see a man as described inside. He went in to tell the person that the building was closing, but when he entered, no one was there. Over time, he saw the man multiple times. He often would see him sitting cross-legged on the floor by the end of the stacks, wearing a long dark coat and slowly running his long fingernails up and down his calf.
Okay, that is actual nightmare fuel.
I know, just like the long fingernails along his leg.
Just like slowly moving up and down. I actually just got a chill.
Exactly. And the thing is, there's never any indication of who the man was or if he was a ghost. But I mean, like, there's no face, so there's something going on. In 2023, the building was demolished. And since then, the man has not been seen. Is he still on campus wandering around? Or has he disappeared with the building?
So spooky.
I know. So, I mean, that's one of those ones where it has some questions there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So the other story I have comes from UNB Fredericton. So, their other campus. Now, Memorial Hall was built in 1924 as a memorial to students and graduates of UNB who gave their lives in World War I. And over the entrance to the auditorium is a bronze plaque with 35 names of fallen soldiers. There are also stained glass windows featuring students who lost their lives at war. This story takes place in 2014, where a security guard was doing rounds at 1 a.m. and saw lights on in the building, and he could also hear the piano playing. He hurried into the building, and as he put his key in the door, he got an odd feeling. He entered the lobby, and the lights were on, and he followed the sound of the piano to the auditorium. As he went to open the auditorium door, he felt a strong gust of wind on the back of his neck. And when he turned, he saw a faceless lady hovering behind him.
What's with these faceless ghosts here?
Apparently UNB, they just don't have faces there and they're ghosts.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. She was wearing old-timey clothes and moving rapidly back and forth before vanishing. The guard quickly finished his check, locked up, and returned to the office. He told his supervisor, who said that he had seen the same thing, and showed him a picture on the wall of the building featuring the woman. At the time of the writing of the article that I reference in 2020, there were no pictures that had a woman in old-timey clothing on the wall, so her identity remains unknown. There have been other reports of hearing piano and seeing the ghost, who to some is known as Grace. One woman reported smelling, in quotes, old lady perfume when she was the first person entering in the morning. People believe that she is playing the piano for the men who lost their lives at war.
Oh my goodness. I'll be honest, those UNB stories, I love them. Harrowing.
I need more details about the one, he was sitting at the end of the stacks and it's for a long time, or?
Yeah.
And I didn't give details for how long, so I assume he kind of like would see him, look away, look back, and he vanished. But to have enough time to know that he was slowly putting his fingernails up and down his leg, that's kind of a...
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that would be terrifying but hard to look away from.
Yeah.
Speaking of musical ghosts you've covered in past Maritime University episodes, we did have a fan of the podcast reach out with her own experience from Mount Allison at Hart Hall. So if you want, I can share a few of the details, or you can save this for a future episode.
Maybe we'll save that for a future episode.
I like it. Something to look forward to.
Exactly. Come on back for Maritime University Ghosts 4.
That's it.
All right. I'm going to finish off by doing a little quiz here for Chelsea. And this is a quiz about haunted universities. I just need to pull it up. I can't leave it on the main page because then Chelsea will just get the answers.
That's it all cheap.
You know how she is. Now, some of these, like our last episode, it's maybe a little more reliant on some of your history knowledge than anything.
Well, I nailed the haunted...
The royal ghosts?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to just jump right in. Now I say universities quiz. I know that there's a difference in how people label universities and colleges around. So like it has both. But yeah, my first question is, which American college linked to a battleground is said to be haunted? Now think about the American Civil War.
Gettysburg?
Exactly. Gettysburg College. It is the site of the Battle of Gettysburg in the American Civil War. And there's sightings of sentinel ghosts across campus, and the blue boy, the ghost of a boy with a blue face. Some also say that some of the basements of the buildings have bloodstained Civil War doctors.
Would not love that.
You see, I'm thinking, when I was at Acadia, the basement of the chemistry building was just more labs. So it's just like, we were down there a lot.
Right? When I'm thinking of, like, I know my university residence basement, that's where we had to do laundry and stuff. And it was creepy on a good day just because it was all the, like, flickering fluorescent lighting in dark corners.
Yeah.
So add a ghost to the mix? No, thank you.
Fair enough. What country has a 2009 horror movie and several sequels set around ghost stories of their universities? The title of the series is Haunted Universities, and then there's Haunted Universities 2, second semester, and then Haunted Universities 3.
I'm mad that I don't know this, and I want to go watch it, like, right when we're done here. What is it?
It's Thailand.
What?
Yeah, I just honestly, I Googled haunted universities, and I meant to put Maritime in there at one point, and it just popped up with 2009 haunted universities, and I think the second one's 2022, and the third's like 2024, so...
Okay, I know what I'm watching tonight.
There was demand. I think that they're kind of like a collection of shorter stories together.
I love that.
Which, I mean, that's what our podcast is, so...
That's it. We love an anthology.
Exactly. Now, the third... Which Canadian university is said to have a ghost left behind due to a torrid love affair? If you're thinking of Canadian universities, think bigger.
Can I get a province?
Ontario.
University of Toronto.
Yep. So apparently, during the construction of University College, which is one of the... I don't fully understand how the colleges work at U of T, and I went to U of T, but one of the more confusing named ones, University College. One of the stonemasons ran off with the fiancé and also life savings of another stonemason.
Rascal.
When the first stonemason, the wronged stonemason, caught them, he was stabbed and his body was left in the stairwell of the building. And it's said that his ghost still haunts the building to this day.
Oh my goodness, that's spooky.
Mm-hmm. And then this one, I think you might get this one. At University of St. Andrews in Scotland, what ghosts are associated with the cathedral? One of them might be similar to one that showed up in your last episode, in the Ghost Ships episode.
Had a blank moment there. Pirates, sailors, nuns.
So there is a monk who's been seen around who is said to protect those who enter the tower, and then also a female ghost.
A woman in white.
Yeah, a woman in white who's said to be seen walking the grounds.
Did I mention nuns in the Ghost Ship episode? Guys, I don't even know what I'm on about.
I do not believe you did. But I took that as close enough to monks, honestly. That's the quiz there. Thank you for playing, and I hope some of you at home, you learned a little bit. You'll be roaming the world. You'll go to Gettysburg and be like, see that college there?
I know.
There's some Civil War doctor ghosts in the basement.
That's it. People will be wowed by your knowledge.
That you go to Thailand, you say, have you not seen the trilogy of movies Haunted University 1, 2, and 3?
People will be impressed by your cinematic knowledge.
Exactly. Pure cinema here. They have like a rating of 5 stars on IMDb. So watch
50%.
Depending on which school you went to, that might be a pass or might be a fail. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of It Came From The Maritimes. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at It Came From The Maritimes, on Blue Sky at ICFT Maritimes. And if you have any Atlantic Canada folklore you'd like to see covered in a future episode, or any spooky encounters of your own, please email us at itcamefromthemaritimes@gmail.com. We might need to get that Mount Allison one in a future episode here.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And then we're also on Patreon, so check it out if you want to see some bonus content. And if you enjoy our podcast, please leave a 5-star review. It helps people find us. And now we have a folklore tip to finish our episode here. Chelsea, do you want to finish that up for us?
Absolutely. And I just have to say, thank goodness I am already married, because I did this just 2 days ago. According to superstition, if you fall when walking upstairs, you will not be married this year.
And I think that was maybe a little bit true for that University of Toronto ghost who was found in a stairwell.
Certainly sounds like it.
Poor guy. Anyways, thanks for listening.
Bye.